Have you ever loved someone deeply and still felt trapped by the life that love created? And have you ever wondered why society allows people to say almost anything about parenting except the sentence, "It is most honest for some hearts"? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are stepping into a topic that is tender, complicated, and often surrounded by silence. Regret about having children. Not the casual, temporary regret of a hard day, but the heavier feeling some parents carry in private. The feeling they are afraid to name because they do not want to harm their child, and they do not want to be judged as a monster. Here are the two ideas we will hold gently from the beginning. First, regret does not automatically mean a parent does not love their child. Love and regret can exist in the same heart, especially when a person is exhausted, isolated, unsupported, or living inside old wounds. Second, karma is not only about what happens outside you. Karma is the momentum of what you repeatedly do with your inner pain. If you hide and harden, pain grows into bitterness. If you face pain with wisdom and compassion, the same pain can become a doorway to awakening, healing, and a healthier future for both parent and child. Let me tell you a story, because stories can carry the truth without turning it into a courtroom. Her name was Maya. If you looked at Maya from the outside, you would think she had done everything right. She had a steady job before pregnancy. She had a partner who smiled in photos. She had family members who posted cheerful comments under every baby picture. She had a home that looked warm enough. And on the surface, she was doing what people praise. She showed up. She fed the baby. She held the baby. She worked, cleaned, planned, and smiled when visitors arrived. But at night, when the lights went off and the house finally became quiet, Maya would sit on the edge of the bed and feel the thought rise that scared her so much she tried to crush it immediately. What if I made a mistake? Not a mistake like choosing the wrong restaurant. A mistake like choosing a life path that cannot be undone. The first time the thought arrived, she felt shame punch her chest. Shame is fast. Shame does not ask question. Shame declares a verdict. Shame says you are bad. Shame says you are ungrateful. Shame says you do not deserve help. Shame says if anyone finds out, you will be condemned. So Maya buried the thought. She told herself it was just sleep deprivation. She told herself it was hormone. She told herself it was a phase. And yes, sometimes it is a phase. Many new parents feel overwhelmed. Many new parents feel grief for their old life. Many new parents feel confused. And then slowly, things stabilize. But Maya noticed something. Weeks passed, months passed, and the heaviness did not leave. The baby grew, became more interactive, smiled more, laughed more. People told Maya, "See, it gets better." She smiled and nodded. She wanted to believe them. She really did. But when she looked honestly at her inner world, she did not feel better. She felt smaller. It was as if her identity had been poured into a container labeled mother, and everything else had been scraped away. Her hobbies disappeared. Her friendships faded. Her body did not feel like her own. Her time did not feel like her own. Even her thoughts did not feel like her own, because every thought had to pass through a filter of responsibility. Can I do this? Should I do that? Is the baby safe? What if something happened? What if I fail? Her mind became a constant surveillance system. And one day, in the middle of an ordinary morning, the thought came back, clearer than before. If I could go back, I would not choose this. Maya froze, holding a spoon above a bowl. The baby was in the high chair, banging little hands, making sounds that were not words yet but felt like bright life. Maya stared at her child and felt two waves at once. One wave was love, real love, protective love. The love that makes you look at a tiny face and feel your chest soften. The other wave was grief. Grief for a life that disappeared. Grief for freedom. Grief for quiet. Grief for the version of herself who could rest without guilt. Grief for a self that no one asked her to sacrifice so completely. The grief carried anger too. Not toward the baby, but toward the situation. The lack of support. The way everyone celebrated the pregnancy and then vanished when the daily reality arrived. This is the part people misunderstand. Many parents do not regret the child as a person. They regret the conditions. They regret the isolation. They regret the loss of self. They regret the expectations. They regret the pressure to be perfect while running on empty. But Maya did not have language for all of that yet. All she had was the shame of the sentence. I regret having children. She felt terrified of herself. So she did what many people do. She performed the role harder. She tried to be the happiest mother in the room. She posted photos. She wrote captions about gratitude. She congratulated other parents with bright words. She laughed at the right moment. Inside, she felt like a person drowning while trying to look like a swimmer. This is a form of karma too. Not cosmic punishment, but habit. When you repeatedly hide your truth, you train your nervous system to live in contradiction. Contradiction creates tension. Tension becomes irritability. Irritability becomes guilt. Guilt becomes more hiding. The loop tightened. One afternoon, Maya met an old friend named Selena for coffee. Selena was not a perfect person. Selena had made messy choices. Selena had been through heartbreak. But Selena had one rare skill. She could tell the truth without cruelty. Selena asked Maya, "How are you really?" Maya smiled automatically and started listing practical updates. Sleep is okay. The baby is growing. Work is busy. Everything is fine. But Selena did not accept the performance. Selena looked at Maya for a long time and said softly, "Your eyes do not match your words." Maya felt her throat tighten. Tears rose fast. Embarrassing tears. The kind you cannot organize. Selena did not rush to fix it. She simply sat with her. After a long pause, Maya whispered, "I think something is wrong with me." Selena asked, "What do you mean?" Maya stared at the table and said the sentence she had been afraid to say. "Sometimes I wish I did not become a mother." The room did not explode. The ceiling did not fall. Selena did not call her evil. Selena did not gasp dramatically. Selena simply nodded, as if she had been waiting for this honesty. Selena said, "Thank you for trusting me." Maya started crying harder, relief and shame mixing together. Selena asked gently, "Do you love your child?" Maya said yes immediately, like her body needed to protect that truth. Selena nodded again. Then she said something that became a turning point. "Then, you are not a monster. You are a human being who needs support." Support. That word felt like water. Because what Maya had been doing was trying to carry an entire universe alone. Selena asked Maya a different question. A question that moved the conversation from shame into wisdom. If regret could speak, what would it be asking for? Maya did not know how to answer at first. Regret felt like an enemy. She had been trying to silence it. But Selena was inviting her to listen to it like a signal, not like a verdict. Maya took a breath and said, "It would be asking for rest." Selena said, "Yes." Maya said, "It would be asking for time to be a person again." Selena said, "Yes." Maya said, "It would be asking for someone to help without judging me." Selena said, "Yes." Then Maya said the deepest truth. "It would be asking for forgiveness for not feeling what I was told I should feel." That was the real wound, not the baby. The story about motherhood. The story that said this should complete you. The story that said if you struggle, you are ungrateful. The story that said good mothers never want to escape. When a person is trapped inside that story, their suffering becomes invisible. And invisible suffering turns into despair. Selena suggested Maya talk to a therapist who specializes in postpartum mental health and parental burnout. Maya felt resistance. Not because she hated therapy, but because she feared what a therapist might think. Selena said, "A good therapist will not judge you. A good therapist will help you separate love from overwhelm. And even if it is hard to find the right person, You deserve to be helped. Maya agreed reluctantly. A week later, she sat in a small office across from a therapist named Liao. Dr. Liao did not start with diagnosis. Dr. Liao started with a question. What is the hardest part of your day? Maya opened her mouth and tried to give a polite answer. Then, she remembered Selena. Eyes and words must match. She said, the hardest part is waking up and realizing I do not get to choose my day. My day is chosen for me. And if I resent that, I hate myself. Dr. Liao nodded slowly. Then Dr. Liao said something that shifted the room. Many parents feel grief for the life they lost. Grief is not proof you do not love your child. Grief is proof you are human. Maya felt her chest loosen, just slightly. Dr. Liao asked Maya to describe the regret. Not in a dramatic way. In a careful way. Where did it show up? When did it spike? What made it worse? What made it soften? Maya realized the regret spiked when she was isolated. When she had no sleep. When her partner was emotionally absent. When she had no time alone. When she felt judged by other parents. When she compared herself to people online. The regret softened when she got a shower alone. When she had a real conversation with a friend. When someone held the baby for an hour without making her feel guilty. When she took a walk in the morning light. When she ate real food. When she slept. Dr. Liao said, so the regret is not random. It follows conditions. That sentence was huge. Because if regret follows conditions, you can change the conditions. You cannot undo the past, but you can reshape the present. This is karma as cause and effect, not mystical, practical. Dr. Liao asked Maya about her partner, Aaron. Aaron was not cruel. Aaron worked long hours and came home tired. He loved the baby, but he lived like the baby was primarily Maya's responsibility. He believed Maya was naturally better at this. He did not say it with arrogance. He said it with ignorance. Maya had tried to tell him she needed help, but she spoke from exhaustion and resentment. The conversations became fights. Aaron responded defensively. Then Maya stopped asking. Then she grew more resentful. Dr. Liao helped Maya practice a different way of speaking. Not softer in truth, but clearer in structure. Instead of saying, you never help, Maya practiced saying, I need 2 hours every Saturday where you are fully responsible and I leave the house. I also need 1 night a week where you handle bedtime while I rest. This is not optional if we want our relationship and family to stay healthy. Maya felt scared saying that. Fear of conflict. Fear of being called demanding. Fear of being abandoned. But Dr. Liao said, boundaries are not cruelty. Boundaries are compassion with a spine. That phrase stayed with Maya. In Buddhist language, compassion without wisdom becomes attachment. Wisdom without compassion becomes cold. The path is holding both. Maya needed compassion for Aaron as a human being, and also wisdom about what she could no longer tolerate. When Maya spoke to Aaron that way, he was shocked. Then he got defensive. Then he went quiet. Maya thought, here it comes. He will say, I am overreacting. Instead, after a long pause, Aaron said something she did not expect. I did not realize how bad it was. Maya almost laughed. She had been living inside the badness so long it was normal to her. Aaron said, I thought you were just tired like all new moms. I did not know you were drowning. Maya felt tears rise again. Not from despair, but from being seen. Aaron agreed to the plan. The first Saturday, Maya walked outside alone and felt the air hit her face like a blessing. She sat in a small park and did nothing for a while. Nothing productive, nothing impressive. Just sitting, breathing, watching leaves move. At first, guilt attacked her. The guilt voice said, you should be with your baby. You are selfish. A good mother would not need this. Maya noticed the voice. For the first time, she did not obey it immediately. She remembered something. Liao said, guilt is sometimes a sign you are leaving a harmful rule. Leaving a harmful rule feels like danger at first, because the nervous system was trained that obedience equals safety. So Maya breathed and said quietly, I am allowed to be a person. This is where spiritual practice enters in a grounded way. Not fancy ideas, just a new inner posture. I am allowed to be a person. That sentence is a seed. If you repeat it, it becomes a habit. Habits become character. Character becomes destiny. Maya started building tiny rituals that helped her nervous system soften. A few minutes of quiet tea. A short walk without the phone. A simple breathing practice before sleep. A weekly conversation with Selena where Maya told the truth without being punished. She also began noticing something surprising. The more supported she felt, the more she could enjoy her child. Not in a forced way, in a real way. When she was not drowning, she could play. When she was not exhausted, she could laugh. When she was not resentful, she could feel tenderness without pain twisting it. This is important. Sometimes parental regret is not a fixed identity. Sometimes it is a flare that rises from chronic depletion. But let us be honest too. Some parents, even with support, still feel regret. Sometimes the regret is tied to deeper values, identity, or life direction. Sometimes a person never wanted children and was pressured. Sometimes a person had children for the wrong reason. To save a relationship, to please family, to follow a script. Sometimes a person has mental health struggles that parenting intensifies. Sometimes the practical demands are overwhelming. So what do we do with that truth, without turning it into harm? Here is where compassion and wisdom matter most. Compassion means we allow parents to speak honestly, because silence makes suffering worse. Wisdom means we protect children from carrying adult burden. This is a crucial distinction. A parent can process regret responsibly without telling a child, "You ruined my life." That would be harm. Responsible honesty looks like this. The parent says, "I am struggling. I need help. I am learning to manage my stress. I love you. And I am also working on my emotion." Responsible honesty looks like the parent seeking therapy, building support, resting, and creating structures that reduce burnout. Responsible honesty looks like the parent separating the child from the problem. The problem is the parent overwhelm, the parent depression, the parent isolation, the parent lack of support, the parent identity grief, not the child. This is karma again. If you pour your unresolved pain into your child, the child inherits it. That becomes generational suffering. But if you face your pain with awareness, you stop the chain. You turn the same pain into a different future. Maya began noticing her own childhood story too. She had grown up with a mother who rarely rested, a mother who did everything while quietly resentful, a mother who never said she needed help, and then sometimes exploded. Maya realized she had inherited a model of motherhood that equaled martyrdom. Martyrdom looks like virtue, but it breeds bitterness. Maya did not want that legacy, so she practiced something radical in many families. She practiced asking for help early. Before she snapped, she practiced saying no without explaining too much. She practiced leaving the house for a walk when she felt rage building, not abandoning the baby, but preventing harm. She practiced apologizing when she spoke sharply, without collapsing into shame. She practiced repair. Repair is one of the most important parenting skills, and also one of the most important spiritual skills. In Buddhism, practice is not about never failing. Practice is about noticing quickly, returning quickly, and creating less harm over time. Maya also started meditating in a very simple way. She did not chase spiritual experiences. She used meditation like training. She would sit for 5 minutes and watch her breath. When thoughts came, she would name them. Fear is here. Guilt is here. Resentment is here. Grief is here. Love is here. Then she would return to breath. This naming did not erase feelings. It created space. Space is freedom. Freedom is what lets you choose compassion instead of reacting from pain. Over months, Maya began to understand her regret more clearly. Some of it was grief for her old life. Some of it was anger at social expectations. Some of it was exhaustion from unequal labor. Some of it was mourning the self she never got to become, because she followed the script too quickly. And underneath, there was a quiet truth she could finally admit without shame. She had not fully chosen motherhood with clear awareness. She had drifted into it. This is not uncommon. Many people drift into major life choices because they believe the script is destiny. They believe adulthood equals marriage, house, kids, and then you endure. But endurance without awakening becomes suffering. So Maya began living with more intentionality. Not to undo the past, to change the future. She and Darren renegotiated roles more fairly. They built a budget for childcare so Maya could have time for work and identity. They created a small support network. They reduced social media consumption because it was poisoning their minds with comparison. Maya also learned how to speak to herself differently. Instead of saying, "I regret my child," she learned to say, "I regret how alone I have been. I regret how unprepared I was. I regret how much of myself I abandoned. I regret how society lied about what this would require." That reframing did not erase her complex feelings, but it moved her out of self-hatred and toward clarity. Clarity leads to action. Action leads to change. Change is karma in motion. Now, I want to bring another story into this, because not everyone has the same experience, and it is important to hold multiple truths. There was a father named Tomas. Tomas loved his child deeply. He would take photos, make lunches, read bedtime stories, and still, he felt regret in his bones. Not because of a lack of support. He had support. Not because of depression. He was not depressed. His regret came from identity. He had always imagined a life of travel, creative work, and long stretches of solitude. Parenting did not fit his deepest nature. He felt like he had traded his soul rhythm for responsibility. He felt guilty because his child was innocent and joyful. So Tomas did the worst thing at first. He tried to kill the regret by forcing himself to be grateful. Forced gratitude becomes resentment in disguise. Eventually, Tomas told a therapist. The therapist did not shame him. The therapist helped him see that regret is sometimes a signal that you need to design your life differently, not a signal that you are evil. So Tomas began designing. He arranged co-parenting schedules that gave him solitude time. He pursued creative work in smaller, consistent blocks. He stopped trying to be the parent who does everything and started being the parent who is present when he is there. He also practiced something spiritual. He stopped making his child responsible for his happiness. That is a huge karmic shift. Many parents unconsciously make children into meaning machines. The child must make my life feel worthwhile. The child must justify my sacrifice. That pressure can crush a child silently. Tomas decided his child did not owe him meaning. Meaning was his responsibility. So he built meaning through creative practice, friendships, community service, and honest reflection. His regret did not vanish completely, but it softened into something else. Acceptance. Acceptance is not liking everything. Acceptance is seeing reality without fighting it all day. When you stop fighting, you gain energy for wiser choices. This is the doorway where regret can become awakening. Regret says, something is misaligned. Awakening asks, what will I do with that information? Now I want to speak directly to you, because some of you listening might have parents who struggle. Or you might someday become a parent. Or you might be around adults who are carrying quiet pain. If you are a young person hearing this, please hear this clearly. If a parent is struggling, it is not your fault. Adult emotions are complicated, and adults are responsible for getting the help they need. You are not responsible for fixing them. You deserve care, stability, and kindness. If you are a parent who recognizes yourself in these stories, here is the compassionate truth. You can love your child and still need help. You can be a good parent and still grieve your old life. You can feel regret and still choose responsibility. The path forward is not hiding. The path forward is wisdom and support. Wisdom looks like honest self-reflection. Wisdom looks like seeking professional help if you can. Wisdom looks like building practical support, childcare, rest, boundaries, fair division of labor. Wisdom looks like protecting the child from adult blame. Compassion looks like not shaming yourself for having feelings. Compassion looks like not turning your pain into cruelty. Compassion looks like repairing when you mess up. And practice looks like what you do every day, even when you are tired. This is the spiritual core. The mind creates suffering when it believes it must be perfect. Awakening is recognizing you are human, and then choosing to create less harm over time. Maya eventually described it this way to Selena. I used to think regret was proof I should not be a mother. Now I think regret is proof I need to stop living like a prisoner. I can be a mother and still be a person. That sentence is liberation. Liberation is not the absence of responsibility. Liberation is the presence of inner freedom. Inner freedom comes from wisdom. Wisdom comes from seeing clearly. Seeing clearly often begins with telling the truth. Now I want to close with the reflection that often brings the strongest resonance. Many people think the opposite of regret is gratitude, but sometimes the opposite of regret is presence. Regret lies in the mind that cannot stop time traveling. Presence is the mind that returns to what is here. What can be done? What can be repaired? What can be supported? What can be learned? Presence says, I am here, and I will practice. Practice changes karma. Karma changes destiny. So if you are carrying a heavy feeling, do not make it a secret curse. Make it information. Let it guide you toward support, toward boundaries, toward rest, toward honest conversation, toward wise change. And if you are someone listening who has never been allowed to hear this topic spoken with compassion, let that be the first healing. Silence makes people feel alone. Honest speech makes people feel human again. Thank you for being here with me today. I want you to share your thoughts in the comments. Have you ever felt a taboo emotion and discovered that naming it with care was the first step toward healing? And if you have a story about how support changed your family life, share what you can in a way that protects your privacy and protects the people you love. If you want more long-form storytelling that turns real-life pain into lessons about awakening, wisdom, karma, compassion, practice, and destiny, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and leave a comment so this community can grow. If membership support is available and it fits your situation, it helps keep these deeper conversations alive. Until next time, may your honesty be gentle, may your compassion be wise, and may your practice turn even the hardest feelings into a doorway toward freedom.